Okay, we're now in a recording session. I wanted you to be aware of that.
Okay.
So, how are you doing this morning?
I made it into work, made it through the holiday, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Pretty happy. So you had a great holiday, huh?
Yeah, well, it was a peaceful holiday. It wasn't a great one, but it was peaceful, so no drama. That's always appreciative.
Excellent. So, since the last time we talked, have you had a chance to give any thought of the things that you wrote down on the assessment?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I've looked at it a lot, actually.
First, I want to thank you for participating and allowing me to coach you. Over the last couple of days, I too have also been reading some of the answers that you provided, and I'm trying to decide which one we would like to focus on for this particular counseling session. I believe at the end of the assessment, you put a lot of emphasis on finding strategies of how not to be military or sound threatening. Is that correct?
Correct.
Do you still want to focus on that today, or you want to focus on one of the other areas that you mentioned?
I think we can go there, yeah.
Do you want me to go over the other three that you said, the other two? One of them was how to deal with a hostile environment.
Yeah.
The other one was how to network better. And the other one, how to make people more comfortable that you are a veteran. Which one of those would we like to discuss today?
I guess either how to network better or how to bend. It's kind of both in the same. Yeah.
So you said how to network better or how to bend. When you say bend, you mean not be so military?
Right. Yeah.
Which one of those, for this particular session, do you think would best, that we could probably meet most of the goals within this session? We're going to go over all three in different sessions, but I want to really focus on one of those that may overlap as we go along, so that we could identify the specific goal that we're trying to accomplish.
Right. Basically, then, how to make more people, I guess, more comfortable around me, or the fact I'm a veteran. Yeah.
Okay. So the particular goal is to make people more, how to make people more comfortable around you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you say more comfortable around you, is it around just you, or is it more because you're a veteran?
I don't know.
What are you saying?
I guess I get a perception because people feel I'm a veteran that I guess they're uncomfortable with it, it seems a lot of times, because they are not a veteran. So they automatically, I guess, perceive I'm going to act a certain way. And I try not to talk about being a veteran or engage in a lot of that conversations, because a lot of the stuff I did, really nobody's going to understand. So I guess I kind of get pigeonholed. People think I'm a certain way because of what I am and kind of sideline me from discussions, or they're uncomfortable with me in a discussion. I don't know. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want you to finish your thought.
I guess when I try and talk to people, I ask them for their input or their thoughts, and I don't get nothing. I don't know if I'm intimidating them because I was a vet, or I'm intimidating, or, I give the great pregnant pause, I wait a minute or two, let them collect their thoughts, and I still get no input or response. So I don't know, is it me that's the issue in my veteran status, or is it me and my personality, or how I look that is making people uncomfortable? I don't know if it is the veteran status, but a lot of people seem never to be comfortable around me when I'm doing stuff or talking, and I don't understand that.
What activities or incidents have led you to believe that that their actions towards you is because you are a veteran? Specifically, what actions towards you that you see, that you appear to see, that they're acting a certain way because you are a veteran?
I guess I'll come up with, I'll have a meeting and I'll get everybody's input and I'll write it down, and are we good? And, I want to put forth the team's thoughts, the efforts, or whatever, build cooperation and move forward and get something done. And people, I guess, I always get little comments like, oh, it's because he's a vet, or, oh, he was in the Army. Is it wrong to want to get something done or come to an agreement? Am
No.
I not seeing the office politics better or something?
Given that same situation or those scenarios, what would a non-veteran do to handle those exact same scenarios?
That's what I don't know. I thought being a manager is about building coalitions, building consensus, and getting things done the best way.
What has led you to believe that that's not the responsibilities of a manager?
Because everything I do here at the current position, I get no feedback, no response from my boss, or I get, attacked verbally in meetings. And I'm just like, where's this coming from?
And when you get attacked in the meetings, are you saying that you have led to believe you're being attacked because you are a veteran? Or is there any other reason that the attacks may be happening?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I just don't understand.
So if you could envision, let's take that meeting again. If you could envision yourself not being a veteran, what would you envision working positively?
I guess walk away from the meeting, say nothing, and then go back and brief my boss and wait for her to decide that everything's right and it's good, and then give her the final say so. Instead of bringing her a solution, let her come up with a solution.
So what made you visualize taking that action of just walking away as opposed to doing what? What would the veteran do?
The veteran would finalize and lead and get something done.
And the non-veteran would do what?
I guess go back and let everybody else stew on it for a couple weeks and think about it and then come up with a decision and tell me what to do, I guess.
So the veteran strategy versus the non-veteran strategy, do they both end in success?
I guess. But instead of getting something done and helping the customer, we're talking 2-3 months down the road now. So I'm at a loss. Is my process wrong? Is my behavior wrong? Am I working for an extreme micromanager that, I'm offending because I'm getting stuff done?
Extreme micromanager, are you wrong? You want to get things done right away. Is that a trait of a veteran?
It's what made me a success as a veteran. So maybe I'm labeling it all wrong.
It's what made you a success as a veteran. And are you saying that those traits are not not successful now in your non-veteran environment?
Yes. In the job I am currently in. I got the worst evaluation I ever had in my career.
So what could you do if you could do two things, just two things, in a non-veteran, implement non-veteran strategy? What would those non-veteran strategies be to try to be non-veteran?
And I feel wrong doing it, but I take notes and tell everybody I'll get back to them. I don't make any decisions anymore.
How would that make you feel?
That I'm not a director in charge of my own program.
So there's two things here. One, you want to be seen as non-militant, non-veteran. The other is you want to accomplish the goal. By implementing those two strategies that you said that you would need to do, would that work? Would that somehow get you closer to being a non-veteran supervisor? At least to be perceived that way, that the veteran strategy is not being implemented because you stepped out of it?
What
would it look like to you if you stepped out of the veteran shadow?
Basically, I'm just a note taker. I'm not making any decisions for my program area. I'm just forwarding it all forward to then wait on possible decisions.
Okay, I want to step back a little bit more. You said I'm just a note taker.
Yeah.
So the non-veteran supervisor is a note taker?
That's how I'm feeling it is. I'm not even allowed to assign my people work.
So how does the employees view the note taker?
To me, they attend what meetings that they may be part of, but I went from making decisions and getting stuff done and moving stuff forward to now I'm just taking notes and doing summaries and forwarding it and waiting for possible answers to come.
From the people you're overseeing or your higher level?
Higher level.
So you want to be perceived as a non-militant veteran from or by your higher level?
Yeah.
Or your subordinate?
I guess by my higher level, because I don't know, I guess they feel threatened. I mean, I understand it. They tell me I'm in charge of a program and a thing, and then anytime I make a decision in it, I'm wrong.
Okay. So the subordinate employees you don't have a problem with?
Well, my senior leadership goes directly to them. They bypass me. So I don't know if I have a problem with them.
So when you said, I'm going to go back to the original focus, goal here. I don't want to be viewed as a militant veteran using those type leadership strategies.
Mm-hmm.
But the employees don't view you that way?
I don't know. They don't ever talk to me.
So then I'm assuming that the problem is not with the employees, it's with upper management?
Yeah.
That view you that way?
I guess they view me that way because I don't understand where I've gotten everything done in 4 months period and briefed them and kept them in the loop.
What could you do to be specific or find out exactly how do they view you?
Well,
if you're stating that's the problem, what could you do?
That's where I'm trying to figure out. Is it me, the veteran, or is it me not keeping them informed to their liking, or is it me, I'm making decisions?
But if you don't know for sure how they are viewing you, upper management,
mm-hmm.
What could you do to be sure and confident and positive that I'm absolutely sure that this is how they are viewing me? Could it be something else they are viewing?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is it the veteran thing? Is it me? Is it what's wrong? Because the senior management's...
How would you know?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm trying to figure out.
So what can you do? What can you do to find out if that is the case, if they are actually viewing you that way? I'm not convinced that that is the case because you're saying, I think, I don't know. Are you viewing yourself that way?
I think it's my self-view because I try and talk to my management and they don't engage or talk to me. They actually will go around everything instead of talking to me.
So we're not sure if it's a true fact that they are viewing you as a militant veteran.
Right. I'm not sure, and that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Are there other veterans in the same capacity as yourself?
Yes, another director, and he gets treated pretty much the same way.
Did they say they get treated that way, or is that your view?
No, I've seen it, and I've talked to them. They've talked to me.
So what would be the best way to find out that your facts about how you're being viewed is accurate so that you can move forward? But what could you do to make sure that your facts are accurate before you move forward or develop a strategy to ensure that my facts or view of them is true of how they view you? What could you do to verify that before you would take any action or strategies moving forward?
Well, I've tried talking to them, and I get nowhere. Anytime I try and talk, they quickly say, "Oh, there's no problem," and they dismiss me.
So when you try to talk to them, okay, go ahead. You had something else. I'm sorry.
Right, I try to talk to them or engage them in discussion, and they just want me out of their office.
When you look back and try to engage in a discussion after you discovered that this is how they view you, did you look at the strategy?
Yeah, I looked at the strategy, and I tried to, get their thoughts on stuff and, wait and wait, and sometimes 3 weeks I'm waiting, and then all of a sudden, I don't even get told. I get an email. Go ahead. So, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's me or is it my management.
So when you get upset at their strategies or processes in communicating with you, or how you perceive that they view you, how does that make you feel?
Totally devalued, because I'm like, you tell me I'm a director, you tell me to make decisions, I tell you the decision I'm going to make, and then 3 weeks later you tell me I made the wrong decision, or you circumvent the decision, but I told you the decision I was going to make. If I was wrong, tell me not to implement. Or if you want it done a different way, tell me.
Okay.
I don't go out and just arbitrarily go rogue and just start making arbitrary decisions on everything.
So your leadership style is different?
Now, yeah.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay. You say it's different now because of those incidents?
Yes.
Are those incidents still the same?
I've seen no change, even though I've tried to change and engage my manager.
How have you tried to change?
I CC her on everything.
Okay. Okay.
And I try and schedule meetings to brief her on stuff, which she cancels. I try and give her updates, and she doesn't want them. So I'm confused. I tried changing my style from, hey, I only contact you when I need you, to, okay, you're involved in everything. I don't understand why a senior executive needs to know every little thing about my people on the team.
You said you've changed.
Yeah.
What has led you to believe that your change, the strategies that you are now implementing, is not working?
Because their behavior ain't changed. So I'm at a loss.
When you implemented that change in yourself, is that working for you?
For me personally, no. I'm highly frustrated.
Could it be that some of the frustration is maybe putting a block of you seeing the true change? What was your timeline for the change?
Well, I've been implementing the change for going on 2 months since I got a jacked up eval.
So you want to make a turnaround, a change in the communication.
Yeah.
What do you perceive the other side would want you to do? What do you perceive they would want you to do? You know what you want to do, but what do you think they want you to do?
That's the thing. I ask and I get no comments.
What do others do that you perceive are doing well in the communication process? And they may not be veterans.
The one director goes in and spends all day talking to the individual about church and everything but work. And then, and I'm trying to get stuff done, and I don't talk about church, and I get treated like, why are you bringing this to me? But if I try and move forward without permission, I get chewed out. So
what could you do prior to engaging in a formal conversation with
I've tried to do chit-chat and that and, about topics that are appropriate.
To who?
That I deem appropriate for the workplace. I don't want to talk about religion and politics in the workplace because you're not supposed to.
Okay. Is there any other type of conversation that could be developed on the spot without speaking of church?
I try and engage about, TV shows, sports, or, food to try and, I guess, break the ice.
What is the other person interested in?
Church, gossip, and that. And I just don't deem that's appropriate topic for a director to be talking to a senior executive all day about.
Are you absolutely positive that that is the only conversation that takes place?
The only topic I hear.
Who are you hearing that from?
From the senior executive and the other director when they sit outside my office for 3.5 hours talking about it.
And so when you are visualizing this, how do you feel when you see that?
I'm like, I've been waiting 3 weeks for a decision from you, and that's all you're going to do all day? Is show each other Facebook videos and talk about church?
What could you do to deliberately ignore the noise? The noise is what you are seeing that seems to interfere with your relationship and communication with upper management. You have already identified the noise.
Yeah. So I try and stay in my office, play music, keep it down low, and try and engage my boss or get on her calendar to talk about stuff.
Do you really feel it's because you are a veteran?
The person she most talks to is a non-vet. She spends 95% of her time with that person. The 2 veterans in the office, she barely engages us.
Excuse me. Do you think what do you think needs to happen to engage that individual? Knowing that there's something about being a veteran you have perceived, knowing that they're uncomfortable talking work-related because you're very thorough. You have said, I'm thorough with my work, and I want to get things done. Knowing that in your perception they are not valuing that, without totally devaluing your values, is there one thing that you could say, well, I'm going to do this regardless of how I feel, because I want to establish a relationship, so I'm going to take a step forward. Just one thing that would be out of your comfort zone.
Well, I do that by talking about food, movies.
Is that out of your comfort zone?
Yeah, because
talking about food and movies?
Yeah, because I mean, I just see it as a total waste of time when I'm trying to get something done and get work done.
Is that because you're a veteran, or is it because as a human being you just see it a waste of time?
As a human being, honestly.
Okay. So if those are comfortable subjects that you could talk about, other than and not go into talking church or politics, is that something that you think could get the person to
engage me? That's what I was hoping for. But it's almost like the individual plays favorites, and I'm not the favorite. At least that's my perception.
Do you want to be the favorite?
I just want to be able to come to work, get a job done that you're telling me to get done, and get an appropriate evaluation.
But you already stated you are doing that, getting the job done.
Right.
And you want more. In order to get more that doesn't really involve getting the job done, what must you do that's within your comfort level? Or maybe not in your comfort level. In order to reach the other plateau, what must you do to move forward out of that zone you're in now to get the results that you want? Or do you really want those results?
I just want my evaluation to be based on my performance.
But even the evaluation, it ties right back into how you are perceived.
Right.
And you said, I want to get the job done, which you stated, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I want them to communicate with me, engage me. But in order for them to engage you, how can you engage them? What must you do? I want you to ponder on that.
Well, that's why I've been trying to talk about food or, but...
Is it working?
I don't
differently than what happened before? Even a little bit?
I don't know.
Do you have a timeline? Or should there be a timeline to see results? Is it realistic?
Well, my timeline is before my year is up as a supervisor for my probation or my next eval, which is 6 months after that. I would like to get more than fully successful with no comments.
Okay, so the timeline, did you just recently get an evaluation?
Yes.
Okay, so...
And it was given to me late.
Okay, so the timeline, well, that kind of works on your behalf since we're developing a strategy. The timeline, you're still within the 5 or 6 month period?
Yes.
So you said, I would like to at least, I'm assuming that will be within the next 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So you just started these strategies on the food and the movies, although you feel that's not there's nothing wrong with the appropriateness, but you feel that you are stretching it.
Yeah.
And so you have, is it working for you?
My initial impression is no.
Your initial impression is no. Are you willing to wait to see if it works?
Well, I'm trying, but I'm still looking for another job.
Okay, you said, you're looking for another job. So is that part of your strategy? I'm looking for another job because...
I guess I don't fit.
Okay.
And I can't have a career or survive as a supervisor getting only fully successfuls.
What if this happens if you go to another job? That you begin to perceive that you're being treated a certain way because a veteran or you're not being engaged.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. And is it because I'm too successful or too pushy, or is it because I'm a veteran, the person's intimidated?
How will you know it's one of those, what you just said, too successful, or because you're a veteran, or too pushy, or not pushy enough? How will you know?
That's what I'm trying to decipher. Because my boss, when they did do my brief out for my evaluation, really, the brief out made no sense. And I really think I'm working for an individual that is bipolar or schizophrenic, because everything the individual said, I'm like, where is this coming from? So I'm confused and just trying to survive.
If you had to choose a way that the approach that you're taking in solving this problem, because one of the things you said on your assessment is you like to solve problems,
mm-hmm.
Correct?
Right.
Have you identified the problem?
That's what I'm trying to find, identify. I mean, I go through my mind and say, is it me or is it the individual and their habits?
Have you been able to answer the question? Is it me or is it the individual?
I can make assumptions, but I'm trying to deal with facts, and I don't have enough facts.
Oh, you need more facts.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least that's to identify a problem without just blaming it all on one individual. Yeah, you need facts. And I'm trying to do that.
How are you going about gathering the facts?
I'm looking at how I communicate, looking at the tone of emails. I'm looking at my tone in meetings. I'm analyzing everything I do.
Okay. And while you're analyzing, of those options that you're going to do, or that strategy, what is your most powerful next step?
USA Jobs.
Would that solve the problem, the immediate problem that you're dealing with? Because you're in the identifying the problem stage, correct?
I'm identifying the problem, but I need to be able to survive the problem.
Okay.
And I'm trying to identify it all, and I'm not getting to the bottom of it, nor is the person truly engaging me or talking to me.
What does engaging you look like?
Answering anything. They don't respond to my emails. They'll, cancel meetings and then just sit in their office.
Is it not appropriate that when they're sitting in their office, you could just walk in their office?
I've been told not to walk in their office.
Did they tell you not to do that?
Yes. Or knock on their door.
But other people can just walk in?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yep. I'm right by the door, and they walk by it all day long, and right into her office.
So could you say, hey, do you have a minute?
I try that, and I've sent emails, hey, do you have 10 minutes? And sometimes I'll get a response or not, but you can hear YouTube videos.
But email is different than walking by. When you
can't walk by. Been told not to go to their door.
Did they tell you not to come to the door?
Yes.
Like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Because they feel I'm spying on them.
Okay.
So I don't know what the heck the person's problem is. I go politely knock on the door and wait to be, invited in. I don't barge in their office.
Well, since they were so candid with you doing your evaluation, do you think it would work for you to be candid with them, to express everything that you're talking about now? Would that work on your behalf or not?
No.
Why not?
Because they basically told me they don't trust me.
Okay.
And I'm like, trust? What have I done? And I tried to ask that, and they wouldn't respond. So I don't know.
Because they don't trust you, and they've told you that, is that something part of the plan, a strategy that you need to maybe find ways to build that trust?
I've been trying to do that by keeping them informed through emails or requesting to get on their calendar to brief them, and very clear in the discussion title and the request to meet with them.
But do you think that's not their understanding or way of believing that that's trust? Do they identify that as trust?
I don't know what they identify as trust. I really don't at this point.
So part of your plan within the next couple of weeks would be to add that part of your plan to what is trust? How do they define trust?
They haven't. That's the thing.
When you do your planning, how do you define trust? How do they define trust? And when you identify all this, what will you do with all this data, all this information?
Make a decision whether to, start going in advanced job hunting mode, or try and implement a plan to change if I can. But if you tell me you don't trust me and you don't want me to see me and you want me to play loud music in my office, where can I build trust at? I mean, I don't understand any of it.
Do you think if the question was asked towards that person, or they would answer the question?
No, when I tried to ask or engage in the discussion, they just talked over me and started accusing more.
I'm assuming, although I shouldn't assume, but I'm going to step out the box here and say the militant veteran would not really value or want to put a lot of emphasis or a lot of effort in trying to be liked.
Correct. And I'm trying real hard to do that, and it's really not me.
To step out of that militant veteran mold and to step in what we will call probably a civilian mode with no military background whatsoever, could you say that some of that, what the militant will not do, must do now?
And that's why...
How willing are you?
I'm not even willing at this point because I don't trust the individual to engage and not use it against me. is what's sad. I mean, I don't, to be attacked and all that done, I just, where do I go? How do I mean, I just don't know. I mean, I volunteered for a project, got it all done, kept her in the loop, and she verbally praised me about it, but I felt that was, yeah, okay, whatever. But, you know.
But you just said, I did some work, got it all done. They virtually praised you about it.
Right, but then...
Which is very similar to the... that is like the military way.
Right.
Do it, get it done, move on.
Yeah, and that's what I was hoping would continue.
But they're not, you told me they're not militant.
Correct.
So could it be that when they were praising and you received it, you felt good, but then afterwards you're telling me you didn't feel good?
I didn't feel it was genuine praise.
Okay.
That was the problem.
Do you think it was?
I don't feel it was.
Okay.
I think they're trying to compensate and hope that I don't file a complaint.
Okay.
For their actions. And now they realize that they've done wrong. They screwed me. And they're trying to dig their way out of it. Because prior to getting that briefing for my evaluation, I wasn't talked to about my performance once.
Is it too late for them to try to compensate?
At this point, that's why I'm actually looking for a job, because I don't trust it. If you're going to give me an evaluation with no comments at a fully successful for a new supervisor, you didn't say I did one good thing. All you did was sign it and said fully successful. So you're looking for another job. Mm-hmm. In the future, if for some reason you're still there 6 months from now, what will you do differently so that when the next evaluation comes, you will be prepared in what could come out of it? I really guess I got to engage whoever I do go work for again and say, look, how do you want to communicate? Because I made the assumption and followed the vague guidance I was given, and it seemed to backlash on me. But is it really how do they want to communicate, or how do you want to communicate? I thought that was how they want to communicate, once a week in the weekly management meeting, because every other time I tried to engage them, they canceled the meetings. But the question is, how do you want to communicate, not how they want to communicate, and then what you must do to communicate so that it be a happy medium, which means more likely the effort is going to be put on your side, right, if you want to obtain the results that you identified. Right. So tell me something. Mm-hmm. When we first started this conversation, where were you on a scale of 1 to 10? Where were you at? 10 being that very comfortable. I know what to do, and etc. From a 1 to 10, where were you at when we started this conversation? 2. Where are you at now? About a 6. What made you come from 2 to 6? That it may not be all me. Okay. And you have a plan in place that will try to help you move from 6 to what number would you like to reach? At least the next level on my eval and peace in this office. Okay. And get my 50 cut as passing the supervisory status. Okay. So success for
you would look like in 6 months after you've tried all the things that you wanted to implement, the strategies, and try to be more engaged, not be seen as a militant veteran, and to open communication, establish effective relationship. Success of all that would look like what?
I guess being treated appropriately, not attacked in meetings, and actually being invited to meetings about my program instead of getting, commands through the wall, not even in an email.
Okay. And in order to reach that success, you must do what?
I guess trying to be as non-threatening and as, I guess, to me, frivolous and talk about nothing more often. And socialize ad nauseum.
Okay. I would like to follow up with you on your process, on your strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So would you be willing to, let's get back to some of the other areas that wrap around this particular issue, say in about a month.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That's fine.
And so I'm going to keep all these notes, and I'm going to be sending you an email, check up on how you're doing, and we will schedule another time for about the same amount of time where we can further discuss this in detail to see how you're doing.
Okay.
So at this time, I wish you luck. Well, you don't need luck. You just need a plan and action and actually move forward. And I'm hoping that the strategies that you put in place will work for you because I want them to be comfortable for you. If you're in your comfort zone and they work for you, then you will move forward and things should fall into place. But I wanted you also to see that it's not so much the effort of them, it's the effort of yourself.
Right.
That's going to make this happen. And how far you're willing to go to make this happen, what is important to you. And you identified what's important to you very clearly. So at this point, if you don't have any other questions or nothing else to discuss, I'm going to end this session, and we'll talk next time on.
I look forward to it.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Have a great day.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.